Let me just get one thing out of the way. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind about Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, or any video game for that matter.
When something is garbage, as trash as Baldur's Gate 3 wins Game of the Year, man, there is no hope whatsoever.
Elden Ring honestly isn't something I'm deeply in love with, or the Souls-like as far as genres go. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
But oh no.
No Game of the Year, no real champion, just bare minimum. When real next-gen games come out, you'll be a footnote in a couple of months. Nobody will even talk about this game, ever even mention it when we talk about the greats of this generation. That is a fact when the next generation cycle is said and done. Don't forget it, and remember I said it on this day, because these are hard facts.
We did remember. We sure did.
Do I think Baldur's Gate 3 is perfect? Of course not. Do I feel bad for console players using a controller? Hell yes, I do. I just wanted to point these things out because I don't gush over this game or any game because I think it's perfect. I can fully understand why a game like Baldur's Gate 3 wouldn't appeal to everybody. But like I said in my last video about Elden Ring and the Game Awards, it wasn't my cup of tea, but it deserved the praise in an industry of greed.
And can't be used. So basically, a ton of the mods, if not pretty much all of them, that everybody was loving and using in Skyrim no longer work. And why do they no longer work? Is it because Bethesda made an oopsie daisy? No, that's not why. They no longer work because Bethesda is trying to once again push this like paid mods feature that literally nobody fucking wants. Like, nobody wants this.
Baldur's Gate 3 to me is just a showcase of the depth and diversity of an RPG genre. It's a game that offers a lot of choices and possibilities to the players. It's a game that caters to different play styles, preferences, tastes.
For context, one of the first missions you're given is to go rescue this man Halsin in the middle of a goblin camp. Goblins are chill with drow, so when Matt and I played, we disguised ourselves as drow so we could sneak in. During my all-nighter, I gathered all the goblins by playing a little ditty, and then carefully planned out an ambush so I could attack them all at once. A lot of other people also planned out an ambush by putting grease on the stairs, ice on the bridge, using a spell that locks all the doors. Someone fully sold out the good guy location so they could assassinate the leader once they were left alone. Someone was attempting to ambush everyone but then got caught freeing a prisoner and had to fight their way out. Someone woke up the drunk goblins and then gave them more booze so they'd pass out again. And this person poisoned the punch bowl at the party. I did not even realize that was a thing you could do.
Baldur's Gate 3 is a game that does not follow mainstream gaming conventions. Instead, it focuses on delivering a high-quality, immersive, and fateful RPG experience that respects the player's intelligence, agency, and creativity. It's a game that doesn't compromise on its vision or identity, and it's being rewarded for this. Games like this have long-lasting effects on the industry, and it's just a little strange to me when people can't see what they're doing for the industry at the very least. People see flaws in games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring like bugs and optimization issues at launch, and just put them in the same box as other games like Hogwarts or Starfield that have the same issues without realizing why games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring have the impact that they do. An example of this is Skyrim. Most people seem to look up to Skyrim still. In fact, more are playing Skyrim on Steam right now than Starfield, which speaks volumes to me. Skyrim had impact. We gave it a pass on the bugs and optimization because, for a lot of us, it was something very new and unforgettable. It had impact. In 2017, I was blown away by Persona 5, even though I never expected to love that game either. I'm not into anime or anything like that. And I slept on Persona 5 for almost a half a year until one of my friends just begged me to play it. And I'm glad he did. I also bring up Persona 5 because it gave me the same sense of impact that Baldur's Gate 3 has given me, even though it's vastly different. I'd never seen a JRPG be so flashy and immerse me with some of the best music in gaming. I didn't understand right away in Persona 5, but the moments that didn't make sense slowly pieced together when I gave it the time it deserved. Persona 5 didn't hook me immediately. I didn't understand the school simulator. I didn't understand a lot of the game, but once I gave it a fair shot and I played it and I had these long, intense dungeon sessions and then moved into the school simulator, it just acted as a moment of reprieve. And it made sense. Once I accepted the game for what it was, I fell in love. It was so different, but it all made sense after I accepted and understood what it was, and how being creative can open people's minds to new experiences. It ironically at the time raised the bar for me. When I had very low expectations in the beginning, the biggest impact a game can have on me is when it changes my doubts. Although Persona 5 isn't a crazy new formula, the writing, atmosphere, and music and everything combined had this huge impact on me that will forever cement it as one of the greatest games of all time. If you're interested in a full-length Persona 5 video, I'm all for it, to be honest. I don't want to sound like the grandpa who talks about back in my day, but it's hard not to talk about Baldur's Gate 3 and not feel reminiscent of the past in a good way. This, to me, is one of the biggest reasons for the impact on people who try this game. If you had the burnout of modern-day gaming, you'll feel right at home with Baldur's Gate 3. It's maybe just a reminder of a better time. Larian took some chances that will not resonate with everybody, but it just oozes creativity. You will never see an opening sequence like this in many other games these days. Baldur's Gate 3 is a revival of a classic and influential franchise that had been dormant for over 20 years. The original Baldur's Gate games, developed by BioWare in the late 90s and early 2000s, were groundbreaking for their rich storytelling, complex gameplay, and faithful adaptation of the D&D rules and lore. Baldur's Gate 3, developed by Larian Studios, the creators of the Divinity Original Sin series, has successfully continued the legacy of the Baldur's Gate series, while also adding new features and innovations. Baldur's Gate 3 is a testament to the power and potential of early access development. Baldur's Gate 3 was released in early access in October 2020, meaning that it was still in development and only a portion of the game was available to play. However, this did not stop the game from becoming a huge success. Larian Studios used the early access period to gather feedback from the players, improve the performance and quality, and add new content and updates. Baldur's Gate 3, in my opinion, is a game that you actually have to play to appreciate. From the outside looking in, Baldur's Gate 3 can seem really strange and, dare I say, boring if you have no idea what's happening. This maybe isn't the best comparison, but a game like Death Stranding, love it or hate it, is received pretty well on Steam. This is just another example of a game that you should try and not judge before playing. As weird as it is, it takes a chance and has a unique take on a video game in general. It had some impact, dare I say. Even if you don't like it, you remember it, and people who hated it can't seem to stop talking about it. Death Stranding had some very unique mechanics. From the outside looking in, if you're just watching on Twitch, just makes it seem like a running or walking simulator. But at its core, there's a lot going on when you're actually playing it. We dealt with buggy Bethesda games back in the day because they pushed the industry forward at the time. Did you have the pleasure of playing Skyrim on the PS3 at launch?
There's one version of the game that's absolutely plagued with bugs and glitches. Well, more so than a regular game. And can even end up corrupting your game files and making you lose potentially hundreds of hours of progression. This version is Skyrim on the PlayStation 3.
I sure hope not. But we dealt with it because for a lot of us, we had never experienced something like this before. I give Bethesda so much shit because I want to see them win. I would never want to see a beloved company lose their way completely. I'm rooting for Bethesda, believe it or not, and I just want them to push themselves a little bit harder. I would have been perfectly fine with one single planet in Starfield if it meant the game didn't feel incomplete. Because let's be honest, even if you loved Starfield, who actually went to 99.9% of these planets? They were absolutely empty. I truly felt like I was in the Twilight Zone when I played Starfield, and it's fair to say that I'm not at all hyped for Elder Scrolls. I hope it's good, but if history tends to repeat itself, we'll see. Well, you made it to the end, and I just want to say to everyone that supported this channel, thank you so much. I never expected anyone outside of my Discord to see my videos, but here we are. I see so many supportive comments, and it's just so motivating for me. I uploaded my first video on my birthday, so to say the least, it's been a great birthday present, so I'll keep this short. I just wanted to say thank you guys for all the support, and I can't wait to have future conversations with you guys. If you appreciate the content, please like and sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.